So yes, so I'm a 27-year-old boy from Bangalore. So I started my career when I was 17. And the funny part is you guys are more educated than me. So I couldn't finish my 12th. I dropped out of 12th, not because I wanted to drop out of 12th, but I flunked 4 subjects. So unfortunately it happened, and but my life shaped in a very different route. So I dropped out of my 12th, and my parents thought I was the black sheep of the family. So the title of my TEDx talk, the black sheep of the family who turned out to be a goat. So yes. So, I got out of college, and then all my family, relatives, friends, everyone thought this guy can't do anything in life. He's just a failure. And, in Indian ecosystem, in education ecosystem, if you fail out of 12th, you're like a failure to society. The kind of embarrassment. I couldn't get out of my house for almost 4-5 months. I couldn't go show my face to my relatives, friends, anyone, because everyone used to make fun. That was like the biggest embarrassment and depression. But then, what fueled inside me? I was like, I want to prove every single person wrong. I want to make my parents proud. That's what I wanted to do. So I dropped out of it, then came out of it. And then I took a camera, had a camera. Luckily, my brother had got me a camera as a gift. So I was like, let me turn this into an entrepreneurship journey. So I took the camera, I started clicking pictures, and I started my photography career when I was 17. So I used to shoot in random streets, click pictures of various entrepreneurs, models, actors, everyone. So I hustled for almost a year. And then, hustling, like in 2 years, I did a lot of good job, a lot of projects, a lot of campaigns across India. And then I made it in life. And then they pushed me into marketing, and I learned marketing by myself. So I didn't do any course at all. So all I did was street knowledge, street education. So what I would say is, a lot of people say that education is more into books, but no. If you actually know what street education is, you can be successful any day, anywhere. Because the street education is more important than actual book education. So I learned the street education, then learned by it and lived my life. I became a good student in the street education, became little successful. And in 2022, I got a good opportunity. So we started India's first men's jewelry brand. So we raised about $1 million funding. And when I went to my investors, so we got funded by 8 billionaires. So when we went to investors, none of them asked me, do you have a degree? Do you have a college certificate? How did you come here? No. All they saw was my experience and my confidence. So we raised about $1 million funding, we made it successful. And my partners were actors like Sunil Shetty, KL Rahul. So we partnered with them, we made this company successful. Then I got a good exit. I sold my company. Then I formed my company called Hungry Shark Media, and we made it successful. It's been almost 3 years journey, and we have almost about 30 clients across India. So that's been my journey so far, and it's been an amazing journey from a college dropout to a TEDx speaker now. So yes, thank you. So how did I change and how did I come up over here? I faced a lot of obstacles in life. My parents come from a middle class family, and a lot of relatives making fun of your son and all of it. My mom was like quite depressed as much as I was. But what? Every time I thought about it, I wanted to grow and do something. And since I was a kid, I was an anxious kid. So I think you guys would have seen this movie called Tare Zameen Par, Ishan Avasti. So I used to be a kid like Ishan Avasti. So at least Ishan Avasti, I had a mentor and a teacher like Amir Khan, but I didn't have anyone. But then I shaped myself. I became my own teacher. I was like, I want to prove every single person wrong and shape my life. And then I came out of it. I tried to curb my anxiety and try to become a more better person, get confidence. And I did it. I did it in life. And there are a lot of people who still and I've got like amazing friends who have pushed me in life and who have made me successful who I am over here. Because when you see a person who's hustling, who doesn't have anything, who doesn't have a formal education, you get like a lot of friends in your life who would like to push you, and who keep want to promoting you. And how I became successful in another way was a lot of my good friend circle. What I see a lot of these days, a lot of students, a lot of Gen Z and everyone. Okay, even by the way, I'm also Gen Z. I'm only 27, so I'm not that old. So a lot of people hang out with the wrong circle. All I did in my life was I never hanged out with any wrong circle. Even I party, even I chill, even I go out. But all my friend circle were full of entrepreneurs, full of admirable people, full of successful people. And they push me in my life. Imagine you hang out with 9 idiots, you'll be the 10th idiot. But all I did was hang out with 9 successful people and I became the 10th successful person. And today they are all so proud of me. So you know what, one thing you could learn is always keep your circle a very good circle. Never get into a wrong circle, someone who's going to push you down in your life. So that is one lesson to learn about. And apart from that, there are a lot of things you guys could do. As a student, as an entrepreneur, you can shape anything you want. A lot of people say, okay, you need education, you need a certain background, you need a certain influence. No, doesn't work like that. Anyone can be anything today. Example is me. If I could be a small guy from Bangalore to the streets of Bangalore and coming here and speaking at IIT, that's a big thing. So you could also become that. If I could drop out of my 12th and be something I want, you guys could do that as well. Always keep a high aspirational in life. Always think big. You know, I'm a kind of a person, I'm very crazy. I'm very delusional. You know, before the TEDx happened, I had this vision board. I had written down certain vision boards. So I want to buy a house, I want to be a TEDx, I want to be all of it. And you know, in just past 2 months, I just bought my first house and it happened. And fortunately, out of nowhere, I became a TEDx speaker as well. And the vision board actually worked out. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people of you like think like vision board, manifestation, everything works. The mistake everyone does about manifestation is, okay, you think you want to do that to manifest, but you don't put efforts. No, universe doesn't really reward you if you just think and let it go with that. You need to put that hustle. You need to put that power. You need to go out there. You need to be there. Once you start doing that, and you as a person who's positive and who thinks a lot of positiveness in your life, that's gonna work out. Well, then once it works out, the universe is gonna give you what you wanted, and your vision board's gonna come true. So always manifest and put efforts for that manifest. And never hang out with people who's going to pull you down and who's going to tell you, no, it's not going to happen. If you have someone like that in your life, just cut them today itself. Always have these successful person or successful people around you and someone who's going to push you every single day. And if you guys have a toxic partner, cut them today itself, right away. That's one of the most important things I've learned in my life. I used to have a toxic partner and that pushed me down. But then I cut it and I became a successful person. So, you know, cut that first most important thing. That's going to work out. And the biggest advantage for all of you is your age. Because, like, when I was 17, I took up that career. And now I'm 27, I made it in life. You guys have the biggest advantage as an age. You could hustle from 21 to 27, do whatever you want. By 27, you'll be the most successful person among your family. So do that and keep hustling and keep killing it in life. That's one of the most important things. You know, everyone thinks, okay, what is success? Success means fame, money, pride, a lot of people liking you, a lot of girls around you, a lot of boys liking you. No, that's not success. Trust me, I've done so much in my life. I've hustled all of it. I feel like I'm the most lucky person in the world because I've got everything. Okay, one side I got what I wanted. I made my parents proud. I made them proud. My friends, everyone. I got the money. I got everything. And luckily, I got a lot of followers. I have almost 500,000 followers now. I got the fame as well. But you know what made me realize, okay, this is not success. There comes to a point you don't feel any of it. Trust me on this when I tell, you don't feel any of it. It's all the same thing. It's going to be there for like, you know, it's going to be a hype for 1 or 2 years, then it's going to fade away. You know what, according to me, success lately is being happy, being physically fit, being mentally happy. That is success for me. And once you focus and visualize on what you want to be and how you want to be and what kind of success you want, that's where you're going to reach a point in your life. So I'd always say that don't believe in all these money, fame, people liking you. That's not success at all. Success is when you're happy as a person, mentally and fit. And coming back to the point, talking about mental health, that's one of the most important things. Always prioritize your mental health, no matter what. Because, okay, there are 2 important things. One is your physical health, one is your mental health. 2 important things in life. If you have these both, and if you have clarity in life, you can achieve anything you want. my mental health was so bad. Even I've gone through depression. Even despite becoming successful, I've gone through a lot of depression. People might say, okay, he's doing well, he has a lot of followers, he has got everything, he's made his parents proud. No, there are certain times I feel alone as well. But, it doesn't stop me from what I want to do. It keeps pushing me every day in my life. I want to be really fit and I want to be mentally fit. And I curb my health, I curb my shape, everything, and I'm pushing myself. And I feel that I'm not yet successful, I'm just 27, I need to keep hustling. So every day is a challenge for me as well. I think you guys are so educated and you guys have made it in life and you guys are like IIT. I was just checking on Google how difficult it is to make it over here. And it said it's 95% very difficult to come over here. And that's an amazing thing you guys have already done. And I think you guys could do more and more and become so successful. And always have a high aspiration in life. See, everyone like in India, right, we just like, because of the relatives or friends, everyone, they push us to think small, never think about it, always think big. I always think to the moon. Next I'm thinking like, okay, I want to be a billionaire in next 1 year. That is kind of a tough thing, but that doesn't stop me from becoming that. That doesn't stop me from being that. If I, when I was 17, if I thought like, okay, I want to be a successful person and I want to be over here, I want to be a TEDx, it would have been like delusional back then. But here I am. It took me a while, but here I am finally, and I made it. So yes, always think high aspirations, keep your goals straight, have a very clear-cut mind. And a lot of people these days don't have a clear-cut mind. In my life, I've always had this clear-cut, what I want to do, where I want to be, and how successful I want to be. And that's where I visualize, and that's where I've been. And one of the, why I came up with the Hungry Shark Media, the name, a lot of people are like, what is Hungry Shark Media? It's because all my life I've been very hungry. And sharks never stop being hungry. It's an apex predator. So I feel like I'm an apex predator and I'm always hungry for work, hungry for passion, hungry for name, hungry to make my parents proud and my friends proud. So that's how my life has been. And always being hungry for your passion and work. Never distract yourself. Every single person these days have a different distraction. It could be more of phones, it could be more of digital, or it could be more of partners, or something like that. But see, you enjoy life, you live your life. I would never say, don't live it. Like, because we are all youth. Once the age 30 turns out, then we have like different passions and different vision in life. But before that, enjoy your life as well. Don't always focus on work and career. But balance. Always have a clear-cut balance. Because, once you have that clear-cut balance from morning till night, you're working and you're focused on career, then go do what you want. Because most of people don't have that balance in life. There are either people working completely or there are either people who are working, chilling completely. So, if you have that kind of balance in life, you can achieve anything you want and you're mentally fit as well. Because once you have a lot of fun, then you feel like you want to hustle and work more as well. So I think most of you could do that and always keep hustling, keep focusing on your life. And one thing I would like to say, do it for your parents. If not for yourself, do it for your parents. Because they are the most important people in your life. I wanted to do this so badly for my parents, if not for myself. If my parents had pushed, not like being sad, or if they didn't push me to become successful, I wouldn't have been here. Because I saw my mom being depressed looking at me. And I was like, I'm gonna prove every single relative who's making fun of you. And I did take up that as a challenge, and I did it. And I'm here, and I'm 27. And I've almost won 19 awards in my life. And for me, it doesn't stop me from going more. And all these awards and all of it is just, okay, it's nice. It makes my parents proud. But what makes me happy next is, I want to inspire everyone. I want to go to more stages and tell everyone, okay, if a college dropout could make it in life, you could do that. But please don't take me as inspiration a little bit. Don't drop out of your college. That doesn't work for everyone. So I would always suggest study and get your education. Then do what you want. Choose your path. Choose your career. Because like example, so my company is a marketing company. So that we had like recently a lot of recruiting. There was a pastry chef applying to my company, and more than that, funny part is there was a doctor applying to my company. I was like, you have studied doctor, you have studied so much, you have spent so much, why are you applying to a marketing company? So it's like, I'm looking for a change of shift in my career. That's a very wrong decision to do because, in Indian ecosystem, right, the education spending capacity is too much. Like the education is like very, very expensive. You would have spent like at least, your parents would have spent at least 50 lakhs to 1 crore on education, and then you're trying to shift to another career. That's a very wrong move because you're wasting your time, your parents' money, and your energy as well. And you're shifting and shifting, you'd never be focused. Always have one path, but know what you want to do. Always choose like one career and know what you want to do. That's where you need to be there. So, what I would say, like to end off like with a lot of good notes, life is this, but always aspire to be this. Don't listen to anyone who's going to tell you like, okay, you can't do this, you'll never reach there. No, always be delusional. Take this word like Delulu. I think there was a recently very beautiful movie called Delulu something. So always be delusional. Think you're a delusional person who can achieve anything. Be even delusional to even think that you can become the Prime Minister of the country. You might never know. You could, any day, anyone could do anything. Because no one owns anything in this world. You could be anyone and anything. If you have the willpower, if you have the positive energy, if you have that successful energy in you, it's going to take you to a lot of places. Never have these toxic thoughts. Never have any of this. When it comes to, a lot of people ask me, are you spiritual? Are you religion? All of it. My way of believing in spirituality and religion is, so I don't go to temples. I do believe in God. I don't go to temples. Neither I pray to God. It's been quite a long. My way of connecting to God is, you as a person, be a good person. Then you ask God, you need this, and He's going to help you. There are a lot of people who go to temples or who go to different places, donate. But as a person, they're doing a lot of sense. So I don't believe in that kind of concept. Once you as a human who believes in like goodwill for the world, and you being a most positive person and having the positive aura, you're going to pull everything. And the God's going to bless you with whatever you want. But if you are as a person who's doing a lot of sense, who doesn't have focus, and you're just going to God and praying that, like, bless me and help me, no, it's not going to happen. There's one day karma's going to come and hit you. So always be a nice person, be a proud person, always think high about yourself. Never put yourself down. You could be anyone in this world, and you could be anything and do whatever you want. So, all the best to all of you, and I'm very thankful to be over here, and thank you for calling. It's been almost a journey from coming from Bangalore to here, but thank you so much. Thank you for having me. All the best.